my mic, we should. Okay. That was supposed to happen. Uh, we should be good to go. Good evening. Welcome to yet another edition of Doom Live. I swore to myself I'd never do that. I never. I'd never do this again because all Doom Live serves is to give people a voice to vent their crap out. And I swore to myself I wasn't going to do it again. I was going to skip to the news. But apparently things are going down. Within the past, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, the impeachment of the Vice President, Robbie Beast Pro 9000. Was proposed by Lucky Vinik. I'm going to read you the articles. Quote, there's actually just, there are two articles of impeachment I want to go over. One is severe inactivity. It alleges the VP failed his ceremonial duties to the U.S. Senate and the American people since he has allegedly remained inactive since the beginning of the term and is, quote, unable to execute the responsibilities and trust placed in him. Another article is manslaughter, where it is alleged that he allegedly perpetrated mass manslaughter in a NUSA official game on the floor of the Senate. This, quote, malicious and intentional act of violence was carried to disrupt a process. If you don't know what that is, it is essentially the mess that has happened in the Senate right after it was supposed to be Savior Josh's swearing in, but it wasn't meant to be, apparently. And they use our videos as evidence, so I will get that up. Okay, so there's like one video of us and one video of another one used as evidence. So let's do a count, shall we? I want to see where the count is right now. I don't know how many votes it needs to pass. There are 6 votes on Article 1, 6-0, and 5-1 on Article 2 with PJ Browser. This just in, that's actually 7-0 on Article 1, 6-1 on Article 2. I should also mention some interesting news that came out of it. This from Senator 103315. You'll remember he was involved in a situation with the USM and started Paladin Defense Services. He has told FTN News that he has switched to the president's party, the Freedom Party. He tells us, quote, after a careful reflection among with extensive conversations with individuals in the community, I made a decision that the best step forward was to join the Freedom Party. I wholeheartedly support the legislative agenda laid out by the president, which is a shocking U-turn considering they were both at each other earlier this month or so, late last month as well. I do want to get your thoughts on this. 800-228-WFTN, 800-228-WFTN. I say that number for role play purposes. Don't actually call it. I don't even know what number it will be. Yeah, just put your hands up and we'll get you on the phone, on the scene. We already got one. Oliver 69798. Good evening. You're live.
John of Doom, I'm such a fan. It's so great to be here. the member count dropping as soon as they hear my voice. John, the vice president is being impeached. Do you have a crazy feeling about this?
I do not. I am going to stay neutral on this. I really don't have an opinion on this.
Was you expecting it?
No, as a matter of fact, I was not expecting it. In fact, I would say people were upset over the retraction, the resignation, but I didn't expect it to amount to this.
Well, I think there is a sense of frustration in the House of Representatives that the vice president sort of ditched, then decided, oh, actually, no, I want to come back. When he hasn't actually done too much for anybody, he kind of just took the role and ran off. So I think there's a lot of upset about that, John.
Mm. So, would you be in support of the impeachment removal effort?
Um,
In your own personal view, not of the White House.
in my own personal view, I think so, yeah, because I think personally, I've not seen Robbie do much. I think he's literally just come into the role, done nothing. I mean, whenever I've asked him for help, maybe when the president's offline and something's happening, he's not very insightful. He's not very helpful. He doesn't really care very much. So I think this is to be expected, to be honest.
Hmm. Interesting. Oh wait, I forgot. We have a Twitch channel now. And I forgot
Uh,
because Jake gave me the code to live stream on Twitch. I'm so sorry. I will get that in future streams. Another thing I want to ask you: 103315 has joined the Reform. No, the Freedom. Yeah, is it the Reform Party now? Yeah, it's the Reform Party. Reformist
Shout out to Bender. Go on.
Party. Kind of weird considering 103 was fighting with the president just a couple weeks ago.
Well, yeah, I really wish I could speak so openly about this topic, but I'm
You're
gonna try and
restricted.
limit myself here. I am a little bit restricted because of my role in the White House, but
Yeah,
what
I
I
get
will
you.
say is I'm a little bit shocked that he has joined the team. I'm a little bit
Is
shocked
there
that,
an official White House
uh,
statement?
uh, well, on behalf of the White House, we're glad, blah blah blah.
Okay, so the
Um,
usual.
but yeah, but on a personal, I'm kind of shocked to see 103 join the Reformists Party. That's what it's called now, isn't it?
Hmm.
Um, I was a little bit, well, because we know his team's not so supportive of George, don't we? We know his team's not so friendly with George. So uh, and his whole defense solutions thing and the USM thing. So I was a little bit shocked that he joined. Was you shocked?
Personally, yes, I was very shocked when he gave the little heads up, like if you want to do a news article, you can on this. And I'm like, and I just tweeted out little gift that says, well, how the turntables, because that was honestly my honest reaction. Like,
To be
well.
honest with you, John, I think it is because they know they can't defeat George. I mean, George, we know George is a magnificent campaigner who really can't be beaten, to be honest, like, just to be completely frank. So I think I mean, I have seen a change in attitude from the PDS people, whether that's to get George's endorsement for a certain management role or whatever. Um, I, I think that they've sort of realised that George is not going anywhere. He has the campaign skills. He has the people. There is no getting away from this. So either they grovel along for the next 4 6 months complaining, or they sort of get on side and start trying to support.
Anything else you would like to say?
No, I think that's about it. I think that's about it, John. And you know what? It's so great to be up here with you.
Pleasure's all mine, or yours. Thank you very much. 800-228 WFTN if you want to call. I should do an ad read, but uh, is it really appropriate? I mean, as part of the contract, I'm supposed to do an ad read. Actually, Benna was one to join, and Sepal, which would be interesting. The ad read was going to be for Paladin Defense Services. If you want to explore the world, DM Swatastic, and he'll get you set up. I'm not really good at ad reads. I listen to a lot of talk radio, but I usually tune out when they do the little ad reads. So, uh, we're talking about the. If you're having audio problems, do try to restart everything because I think everything's fine on my end. Let me see if yeah, the OBS is fine on my end. So yeah, everything is fine. Oh, hang on. Just getting something from the Trello. The removal of DSS tool, arrest tool, the DSS arrest tool, has just passed developer approval. It was signed by the mayor, actually, just a couple of hours ago. And let me see if I can get this in here. The arrest tool will be removed from the DSS team. This was proposed by Chair Minion Krenniff, who says, quote, Alec J. Kabut Jr. GPT is incapable of meeting the same standard that actual law enforcement agencies keep in regards to the arrest tool, and the number of complaints the council has received about DSS abuse of arrest tool is substantial. So DSS will not have their arrest tools. And
John, can I speak on that if you have a chance?
I was just actually reading Senator Cheddar and
good.
Mayor Sin.
God is good, Dason. God is good.
God is good.
All right,
God
so
is great.
I want to explain about why we did it. It's not just because we did it for shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
We did it because, as you can see, they have been very abusive in their powers. For an example, just to give you some background, at the voting area, they close off the voting area when it's not even happening, and then if you even go by it, you get arrested. We have many counselors have seen it and have had reports from it, and we decided enough is enough, and we had to do what was best for Noosa, and that's what we felt.
And so, you did this in a Trello vote. Why not wait until an actual regular session and vote on it?
Because you got it, Devin.
So, per the charter and standing rules, thanks to Congress for passing us a charter that, we can revise without Congress's approval, we passed standing rules that allows a Trello vote. My deputy wrote something into the standing rules that allows us to do Trello votes if something's proposed Monday to Thursday. It was proposed Tuesday, and it passed within, I think, less than an hour. Like I said, it was
proposed earlier. 5 hours ago, and it passed within that hour.
Does DOS have an arrest tool?
DOS does not have an arrest tool.
All right.
The SS has the arrest tool.
Yep.
Our problem is they just recently were given the power to use 18 U.S. Code 1752, which is what we all know as the most abusive U.S. code NUSA has ever seen. When it comes to Secret Service, it makes sense for Secret Service to be able to use 1752. DSS? What? Like, why? What's crazy about the whole situation is that DSS is using the 1752 code to lock down areas for the secretary. There's no protective detail. It's just the secretary. There's no protectee. It's just the secretary. My problem with this, specifically last night, is DSS was blocking the safe zone at VS when there was murders happening, which means the citizens cannot go into the safe zone without getting spammed. 18 U.S. Code 1752, 25 studs, wait, 100 studs, boom, arrest. Like, they didn't give anybody a chance to back up. 2, they blocked off the safe zone. I personally asked the GMs today to put a directive out saying that you cannot restrict a safe zone, a public safe zone like VS. DCCC has the safe zone on the floor. That's different. I'm more concerned about the safe zone at VS because that is created for people to go into when there's murders. This stemmed from DSS not allowing citizens who were getting murdered to go in the safe zone. It wasn't a personal vendetta like George was claiming it was, that I have a problem with Cabot Jr. GPT because I fired him literally a week ago from my office. He was the Deputy DC Attorney General, which is a fact. If you scroll up a week ago on the 9th in municipal updates, I fired him. He went haywire. Absolutely.
I do want to interrupt you because we got this within the last few seconds from the White House. Press Secretary Oliver James has said, quote, the White House respects the House of Representatives and understands their frustration, talking about the impeachment. We will be watching the situation closely and will be issuing statements as the situation progresses. Please continue.
So yeah, all in all, this was a Trello vote because of how priority it was. It needed to be voted on today. It needed to be passed today, and it needed to be implemented today. My job as DC mayor is to make DC playable. DC is not playable with DSS running around basically screwing us all with their arrest tools because they finally have the power to do it.
I do want to read this statement from the acting Secretary of State, Alex J. Kaboot, in response. This was actually sent at near 11:34 Central this morning. The mayor threatening to remove DSS arrest tool, this was obviously with all that, is from DC. It's a gross overstep of authority and underlines his incompetence. DSS has not received one single IA report. The director has not received any complaints from the MPD, the mayor, nor any city councilor, and neither have I or the president. I challenge the mayor to approach me and discuss this or to post evidence that DSS, let me finish, this is quite a bit of a statement, has abused his tools and made wrongful arrests, and in quote, in little brackets, which they haven't. I am willing to make compromises and work with the mayor on any issues he might have, but thus far he has refused to approach us and voice any concerns. DSS is the federal agency, almost done, under U.S. Code with the authorization to arrest for any federal crime committed in their presence to execute federal warrants. It would be unconstitutional for the mayor to propose any such bill and will be struck down in the federal courts. Once again, Mr. Mayor, I challenge you to behave like an adult and act like a mayor and engage in productive discussions to confront your personal issues instead of resorting to circus antics. I assume if the DSS is abusing the arrest tool and FAing people, you should have videos to support your claim. That's from the acting Secretary of State. Your response.
Okay. Let me do real quick, Devin, before you go.
Yeah, because I got a good response to it.
Oh, I do too. So they haven't received reports because people are afraid to report because stuff can happen to him, like getting fired, as an example from one of the persons in general chat already talking about it, Hank. And a lot of it is her FAing. So how can we report her to her? Do you know what I mean? All right, Devin, you're up.
All right, first of all, I've had several agents in DSS and several officials in DOS write me regarding the situation. I'm not going to say names because I know how corrupt this Cabot Jr. person is. After dealing with them for 3 days as Deputy DC Attorney General, they forced their way into MPD, tried to force their way into EMS and fire department, which doesn't work. All right, like that doesn't. You don't overstep with me as the leader. You know that doesn't happen in my agencies. As soon as I'm made aware that this is happening, I'm shutting it down. My DC Attorney General deputized his office, which is literally where this all started because I made him revoke the deputization because Cabot Jr. GPT was abusing. So when it comes to DSS and DOS not receiving reports, there's several internal affairs reports that just haven't been reviewed yet.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to it being unconstitutional, John, want to refer you to the most recent post in Municipal Updates where Trego had to clarify. Would you like me to read it or do you want to read it?
You can read it if you want to. I'm actually looking out the window. There's quite
Tregokian,
a bit of severe weather going on.
You know,
Be careful, there's tornadoes.
Our
we have a tornado watch until 9:30.
Great group manager who helps out a lot when it comes to actual affairs because people want to say that we're overstepping and unconstitutional, blah, blah, blah. He said, and I quote, word for word, put the picture of him saying this, surprised I have to say this again, but development cannot be dictated by any roleplay entity. At the end of the day, the city council is welcome to create suggestions to the dev team on how to improve DC, but it doesn't mean the dev team has to do it. Congress doesn't dictate development, courts don't dictate development, and neither does the city council. You can't force the dev team to include a specific team and tools, and you can't force the dev team to remove a specific team and tools. DCCC is the sole entity that can provide dev ideas to the dev team through suggestion. But it's not, we passed it, so it must be so. All in all, what this says because this was literally right after this came out with the whole tools thing. Tools are development. People will argue arrest tools aren't development, but anything that has to do with in-game mechanics is development. The one thing that the city council has done to kind of, extend an olive branch to the EB, as we personally, when we upped the municipal wages, we didn't even touch the executive. We didn't touch any of that, and we called on Congress, which Congress still hasn't done, by the way. We called on Congress to adjust their wages because that's what we should do. We're willing to work with them, but it's not unconstitutional to remove a development tool. Like, that is literally our job, to keep DC active, to keep DC safe, to keep DC free from abuse. And just to be real, I'm surprised it even got this far. I'm not gonna talk bad about George because George is my homie, but when the leaks came out that Alex Cabot Jr. GPT was going to be Secretary of State, the first thing I did was message him, and I was like, this is going to go to all hell, and you'll probably have to end up pardoning, because he is basically a sanctioned criminal when it comes down.
100%. Thank you.
He is a government-sanctioned criminal. I'm not gonna
helped rob the bank.
Yeah, robbed the bank, made $100K off of it. Let's
you already saw that, but you know who's not gonna do anything about it?
I'm not gonna say that George isn't gonna do anything about it, but George is somebody who fights for his people just like I fight for mine.
I'm not just saying George. I'm saying other people also.
Oh well, I mean, nobody can really do anything about it.
Exactly, which is crazy in my opinion, with robbing bank in daily proof.
Where's the proof? Actually, I have not personally. I have not seen this proof.
You have not seen the proof yet?
No, I'm kind of AOL.
All right, here. Let me. If you go up in community news, let me see. I'm trying to find it. Do you have the proof by chance?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me scroll up in city council chat. I think this is the most active that we've been because it's controversy. Not gonna lie, we really just like to get to business, and stuff. But there's been a lot of chatting today due to all this BS.
I'm standing outside what used to be
club. Can't find.
It was in community news for sure.
I have a bunch of other shit. Oh, it's right here. Hang on, it's right here. Copy link. Let me paste it on USA General, bro. I had literally 10, 15 people send me videos of DSS abuse. It's absolutely insane.
Here you go, John. It is gonna be right there, posted.
I am seeing it now.
And if you ask about why she did it, she will say that you twisted her, or he will say you twisted his words.
Which is absolutely insane.
As you can see him talking right there, right then. You can't, you can't edit that clip, which he said that it was edited. I am sorry, but that sounds absolutely crazy, psychopathic.
We do need DOJ because the DC doesn't have its own court system set up. We have an attorney general's office to refer cases to the actual court.
We need DOJ.
So let me see.
Stimulating for DOJ, because we are trying to bring more cases. But at the same time, it's counterproductive because we don't have our own courts to go through with this. It kind of sucks, honestly. But that's also us trying to cooperate with the federal government because that's what needs to happen.
Why can't you, if in this case, if you were to refer this to the district attorney, why wouldn't you do that instead?
The
DC district. I wouldn't take up a case like this.
Personally, a case would be messy, and it's going to be drawn out, and it's going to take long. My goal with this isn't to get anybody removed, even though I do think that Alex Cabot Jr. needs to be removed from Secretary of State. I'll say that right now, but my goal isn't to get anybody removed. My goal is to make sure that people who have arrest tools in a protective agency are properly trained. and know when to say no. I had somebody reach out to me today that a big part of this problem is just because people are afraid of losing their jobs that they just got. So when it comes down to it, the secretary, who's not even the director of the agency, it's like the director of SS in the Secretary of Homeland Security. This is exactly
the Secretary of State is controlling DSS.
That's exactly
pretty much
what it is.
That is not how it should be. If you want to be the controlling DSS, then be director of DSS. But if you are the Secretary of State, you are controlling the state visits, all that stuff, and you are not doing DSS. That is one reason why we removed DSS's tools, because of many people, including the Secretary of State, abusing the tool.
And I want everybody to know that I intend for this tool removal to only be temporary. This is until they get trained. I'm not saying like that they're never going to get their arrest tool back, because they have the powers. Congress gave them the powers. Like, Congress passed legislation to give them the powers to use 1752, but they need to learn how to use 1752.
And not just use it anywhere they want. And once they can do that...
Yeah, literally.
We have reached out definitely to Kaboot for comment. Once we get that, we'll relay it to you. Go ahead.
One more thing once you're done.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue. That was pretty much all I
they
have.
said if they are scared to report it, they can't be fired, as the Whistleblower Act is always a thing. So if they get fired for reporting something, they can sue in court with the Whistleblower Act, and then they pretty much will win the court if the court is not correct.
And to add on to that, for anybody who has been retaliated against for reporting abuse in DSS, if you were fired unjustly, or if you'd like to make a transfer out of DSS, let me and Hadil know. Hadil is going to give you a job in MPD. If you were unjustly fired from DSS or would like to transfer out, MPD is working on getting a protective division up and running for city council. So just let us know. Reach out.
And we have arrest tools.
Yo, they'll get them back.
I had to. They're gonna get it back later on. Who knows when though? But I had to.
Yeah, but for anybody that was fired unjustly, we got you. Like, I got you. I don't care how it affects me. I got crap for hiring superheroes who are failed immigration. I'll take it. I really don't care. Court case. I'm no stranger to court cases. I'll show up to the court case with my NBA YoungBoy chain on, bumping NBA YoungBoy. Nobody's gonna break my spirit, bro. We're here to have fun. I'm not here to let people get abused and not even be able to play the game because they keep getting arrested for trying to go in a safe zone. When it comes to the DSS situation, that's kind of all I got to say on that. The announcement that Alex Cabot Jr. made to me, mind you, this is Junior GPT. This is not the real Alex J. Cabot. Cabot would not act like this, But when it comes down to it, bro, that announcement to me was out of line. It's against policies that GMs have put forward. I actually am surprised that the GMs haven't warned him. And as you can see by my response in municipal updates, I wasn't condoning it, and I'm not participating in arguing over official group channels. If I thought that going to Alex personally, Alex Jr., I have to separate the two, because the real Cabot would never act like this dumbass. All right? If I went directly to Cabot Jr., there would not have been anything but an argument. And I can promise.
And a block. Don't forget that.
Because a week ago, he refused to leave the CID chat for MPD, which you are not allowed to be in if you're not MPD. Mind you, this just happened 7 days ago. It's still fresh. And I got chat logs of it too, but when it comes down to it, I feel like I'm being the bigger man, allowing them to have an opportunity to recollect and basically retrain themselves, and then asking us for the arrest tools back, because the city council is reasonable. There's not a single person in city council who's, after they train themselves and show that they're trained, who are going to be like, nah, fuck DSS. there might be some people who are going to say, you know, screw Cabot Jr., we don't want to do it, but they're not going to say screw DSS, because that's not what it was. That's not what it is.
40 minutes past the hour, this just in from the White House. Quote, we are disappointed to see issues regarding the diplomatic security service and the local government entities. The White House is actively looking at the situation and will be monitoring the situation. Our aim is to work with local government as closely as possible, and we understand the recent removal of arrest tools were a temporary solution and will be happy to work alongside D.C. city officials to ensure all concerns are resolved. We will be seeking to actively work with the D.C. city officials to ensure this issue is resolved as swiftly as possible. That coming from the White House Press Secretary Oliver James. If you do have any,
can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Oliver, I love you, honestly, because George's announcement earlier was like, I'm not letting DC do this. We will do whatever we can through court, blah, blah, blah. Like, so Oliver, I really appreciate you. That's all I have to say.
Oliver, we really do appreciate you. DSS, well, yes, it's a temporary solution, but I think that there needs to be a line with high-ranking officials in the Secretary of State or high-ranking officials in Department of State going on the DSS team. That is what I think that needs to happen. And I would love to talk more about it with you if you are down for that, Oliver. Because maybe then we can get your DSS arrest tools back. What do you think about that, Devin?
I honestly think that we should have whatever delegation from the White House wants to handle this, go ahead and join the DC City Council server, and we'll make a channel in that specifically for this, so we can get to the bottom of this and get this resolved as quickly as possible, because returning arrest tools to the DSS team is as simple as Benda unarchiving that card. It is so simple. It's so simple to remove, and it's so simple to add back. So if we can get them a training program down, and assurance that Cabot Jr. will be not, I don't want justice, because like, no offense, John, but the court system's slow as heck. So like,
None taken. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put nothing through the courts. That's why we took the city council, because that's immediate. But if the White House wants to send a couple representatives to the council server and talk to the actual council people who can make bills and vote on bills, because I can only sign bills, I can't vote, and I don't tell people how to vote. If you want to do that, let's do that, and let's get this resolved, because I'm more than happy to work with you guys. Oliver, you're a homie. George, you're a homie. Let's get this solved, type thing. So wow, I actually feel really good after that announcement from the White House, because how it was earlier, it was more like, this is war. And to know that this isn't war now, it's very relieving, because there's enough drama in USA already. So
you're committed to talks, essentially, and you think they'll happen? You'll start it tonight?
I would be down to. I'd be down to start it tonight. At least I would with Oliver.
I was just asked for a link to the city council server, so I'm sending it to them right now in our chat that we have for my administration. And
two-thirds majority is needed, I believe, for the impeachment articles.
Being confirmed right now on voice chat, the White House and DC have now started to work on this together.
Unity,
so
peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace and love, only way. So nothing else to say?
That's all I have to say on the DSS situation. John, as always, I appreciate your dedication to journalism in this group.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine to bring all the sides together. Senator, thank you very much for joining.
No worries. Appreciate you having me. Yes, Oliver, we'll talk soon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Dason. Thank you for doing this. It's 44 minutes past the hour. This hour brought to you by, if I can pull it up, Paladin Defense Services. If you ever wanted to guard businesses, work with local governments, and see combat around the world, if so, join Paladin Defense Solutions. We offer a wide variety of contracting jobs inside and outside of NUSA, including security, infantry, aviation, intelligence, and special forces. DM's fantastic on Discord if interested. And that's my soul sucking gone. Do call if you have any comments. 800-225-WFTN. Hard rates, you're on the air. Good evening.
Yo, what's good?
What's good? You
What's
got
good,
something?
John? Yeah, I got something. Wait. Oh, yeah. Can you bring Oliver up here? Can Oliver come up? I got a question for Oliver.
Okay.
What's good, Oliver?
Oh, am I up? Sorry.
Yo, what's
Sorry. Sorry, go on.
Nah, you good, you good. Maybe I was late, but what are your comments on the Secretary of State taking bribes? Like, does the White House need to comment on that yet, or nah?
We've not seen any evidence like that, so I can't comment on anything like that.
The evidence is in it's in the chat if you want to see it real quick.
If you want to direct that to the relevant people, whether that's a House representative so they can take action in the House, or the President so he can take action, that's completely fine.
I believe Asarap's just pinged you with it. So, like, I don't know. I'm hearing the DOJ doesn't want to prosecute these crimes. I'm just trying to figure out, like, can we really trust this administration to do the right thing and fire this guy? Because Alex is a weirdo, bro, and this is just proof he's abusing his power, and yeah, he has to go. Hey,
listen, we want to see any issues resolved. Like, it's not like we want to carry on any issues, and we are going to look at it, and we are going to see what's what with it all. I can't give you a genuine comment now because, frankly, when we issue comments, it's not just me saying it. I go behind the scenes and ask and whatever. So, I can't give a specific comment on that now. But what I can promise is, if the Secretary of State has done something wrong, we will look at it. We will review it. You have all options open. You can go to the House if you feel. You can go to a House representative if you feel that the Secretary of State has done something to warrant an investigation in there. You can go to the President if you think that the executive branch should deal with that. So I can't really go much further than that because, obviously, as I say, I am just a spokesperson. I don't just ramble on. I have to actually go behind the scenes and get the right information.
Word. I appreciate the answer. Like, you always keep it real. I fuck with you, gang.
Thank you.
Can I talk to Thason next?
Yeah, you can if he's willing to come up.
Hey, he raised his hand. Hey, what's good, gang?
What's up, gang?
What's
How you
good?
doing, man? It's been a minute.
I'm good, bro. I just got back from the gym like an hour ago. I had some chest and tries.
Good, bro. You get some
Nice.
protein.
Yeah, bro.
Word, good to hear.
Hey, I just want to say, like, hey, you're doing a great job. You know,
Hey,
no glaze.
chill,
Shout
man.
out. Is there a mod in this chat? In this. Hey, shout out my nigga Koala Lamb. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Hey, just keep
doing
up the good work. Keep up the good work. Hey, that's
I
all though.
appreciate it, gang. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, John, I'm gonna catch you, John. Hey, have a great show.
Thank you very much. Let's go to James M. Randall, I believe. I'm not sure. Yep, got it right. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
How are you? What's up?
Well, I just wanted to make a comment. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but it was in this very general chat that the President of the United States assured me that I would be in a federal prison very soon. I don't know if this means to suggest the President intends to abuse his office by influencing how the DOJ prosecutes its cases, but knowing this President, I wouldn't be surprised.
Is this involving that court case, Alex Blue Bear versus FBI?
No, this is unrelated. I have a screenshot. I'll put it in general.
Yeah, because if it is about that case, I'm not going to comment on that because I am the judge in that case. So
No, nothing to do with that.
Not going to really entertain stuff like that here due to COIs. So actually might want to recuse myself from that case now. I should actually recuse myself. What am I looking at?
I put it in general.
Yeah, I did, but explain it.
I apparently the president is under the impression that I'm a traitor and I will go to prison for it. I've done nothing wrong. I've broken no laws. The president is assuring me I will go to prison. It is not under the purview of the presidency to influence the Department of Justice and how they handle criminal proceedings. And yet this president seems hell-bent on ensuring that I do, in fact, go to prison. So I'm currently awaiting, that summons from the U.S. Attorney's Office. I'm assuming that'll eventually come. I don't know. We'll see. But this administration, particularly the DOS and George, are obsessed with me, and I think are intimidated by the fact that I'm now serving my native-born country, the People's Republic of China, as its foreign minister. That doesn't make me a traitor. I'm simply returning back to public service in my native country.
So nothing else to say?
Nope, that's it. Just, praise Chairman Mao.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Let me see if anyone else is on here. Raise your hands if you want to speak or forever hold your peace. I think got no one actually doing this. So there is one. Space Loyalist. Good evening. You're live.
Alex is saying he only had one person arrested last night. Do we have an exact count on how many you guys are claiming was arrested? He's only saying it was one person who was an exploiter with a failed immigration rank.
I do not know. It's Go ahead.
Permission to speak.
Go ahead.
It was not
That's his response, I suppose.
It was not one person, that's for sure. And it wasn't just last night, as Vason is saying. It has been numerous times on the sidewalks, on VS, anywhere that they put their code, that they use their US code to block everything off.
I mean, every time I've been on team as DSS, I've never seen like anything that was irreparable to our fucking reputation, like what's being claimed. This is retarded if it's true. Where's the proof of this all again? Is there like a compilation somewhere?
Is there
like a compilation, DSS abuse compilation?
I do not have a compilation. Devin, you want to come in chat? I'll bring you in. Talk in general, and I'll ask, see if you want to come in. See if Devin wants to come in. They send. All right. Well, I have SWAT-tastic in. John, do you mind bringing him up?
SWAT-tastic, you say?
SWAT-tastic? I think he wants to talk. He's a DSS, I think. SWAT, what's up? SWAT, you're live. Do you have a thing about the DSS? Hello? SWAT?
My apologies.
Do you have anything to say about DSS?
It's clear just an abuse of tools and the power that you have, essentially. Because really, you don't really need to use that code with DSS for Secret Service is more understandable. For DSS mainly, it's me meeting at the DOS building.
Yep. 100%. And they are, and that's also one reason we took away their arrest tool, because they are abusing it with the as you said, how me and Devin talked about. They're abusing the code, and then they abuse the arrest tool with that code. So until that we can teach them how to use the code correctly and without abusing and FAing, they will not be getting the tool back.
It's not really necessary code to begin with, because when picking up Ambassador, there's two places you're mainly just going to go three. The DOS building, the Lincoln Memorial, the White House.
I am getting some new information about the DSS with an MPD situation. about TU space, about the MP situation. I'm just trying to figure out what is actually happening, because that will also explain about the abuse to you, to clear it up.
Hello, everyone. So I would like to say about that, DSS, at least in my opinion, and I mean just in logically, should have the authority to enforce said U.S. code that you were speaking about, mainly because it is meant for people of authority. Also, just generally the cabinet and the Secretary of State is so high up in the line of succession that it would make sense to allow them to at least cordon off specific areas for the use of their protection agency.
And don't get me wrong, I agree with that, but they have to know when they can use the code and when not to.
When shouldn't they be able to use it?
Well, example, the voting as yesterday. When Devin was talking, were you here when Devin was talking?
No, I just got here like 5 minutes ago.
So yesterday at night, they used the code in the voting area, right? That's the only safe zone in VS. There is mass murder, but the visitors and anybody couldn't go in, or they would get arrested because of the code.
I believe there is a specific thing saying that you can't actually I know there's something about the military not being able to actively be around polling areas. But I remember reading this when I got back into NUSA, but
so that's just one example, of them not knowing how to use the code correctly. They can't. That's the only safe zone in the VS, and everybody was getting murdered. And if they didn't want to get murdered, they would get arrested.
So do you think that any scenario other than the voting area and specific safe zones is appropriate for use of that code?
It all depends. It depends on the scenario, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. If it's sec of state, yes. But if it's every single place that they're going, no.
I see. So why shouldn't it be any place that they're going? If it's not a safe zone, why shouldn't the Secretary of State be protected? Because, as you know, it's very easy for someone to, if that is not in place, it's very easy for someone to just walk up to the Secretary of State and just pull out a gun and kill them. If they aren't able to at least make some form of boundary around the person, then what is stopping someone from just walking up and killing them?
And that is fair, and that's why it's only a temporary fix, like we said. It's not gone forever. Until we train them to use it correctly, they will not be getting it back.
Yeah, I think the issue is, what harm does a person pose to you in a safe zone? I think that, I could kind of understand SS putting up barriers and arresting people who get too close, purely because of the factor that it's, the fucking president, right? But when it comes lower down the ranks, I don't think that you even have to be remotely as hardcore for something like DSS, because there's no threat to you in a safe zone. Even with the polling station, with how easy it is to sneak a car bomb in there, if you take basic requirements against that, then you'll be fine. There's no reason to make it so hardcore and arrest people for entering a safe zone.
Or just, another example on a sidewalk. Another example on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
So do you think that
what I think is that, and this is what I'm going to say, I think that there are only a few people in DSS that got it taken away. Not everybody, just a few. But the few that did it, did it many, many times. And I'm not going to say names because I'm not going to put names out there, but I think people know who I'm talking
about. Okay. So why is it that, do you think that it would have been a better option to, speak to DSS command before just removing it for all of DSS?
No, just because some people, without going into names, the DSS, some DSS people, if we speak to them, they won't do anything. There's a few people.
I will say, speaking to DSS command instead of DOS
our time is limited,
command,
just so you all know. Because I got a life in the morning.
Speaking to DSS command, it would be fine, but also DOS command uses DSS and abuses, so we had to do stuff for that.
Okay,
Because
so
our director King is not happy about it either. He was shifting the blame onto Alex when I was initially questioning it. So,
and I'm not going to put any names,
Yeah.
but I understand why King is upset, and he has the complete right to be.
okay, so here's my last question
Yep.
for you guys, at least. Why is it that you think handcuffs should be removed entirely for DSS? Because in the end, they are still a very, very important protection agency for
And they can
what is
kill people if they
arguably
have to.
they
Right
can
now,
kill people, but it's a
So-
lot easier to just arrest them, and it's also a lot more efficient.
it
And
it is.
makes a lot
But if
more
we're
sense.
when we're getting many stuff about FAs and abusive tools, we have to do something about it. I can't go into any more detail because we are out of time. I'm guessing for John of Doom. I don't want to keep him, but if you want to talk
Can I
more,
say
I am
one
more
more
than
thing?
welcome to talk.
Can I say one thing? I was just brought up. I wasn't on here when you were asking
Go ahead.
questions about them being able to use US code. Like, are we opposed to them using the code or having the powers to use the code? No. My problem is the fact that it was in a safe zone where the only threat to you is a bomb. And it was because Alex kept getting spawn killed and didn't want anybody near him. That is the sole reason why this became a thing. No, we didn't talk to DSS leadership because DOS leadership, Alex, is the problem. Alex is the problem in this situation here. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I'm not opposed to them using the code across DC wherever they want to go, blah blah blah, just like SS does. But SS will not block off a safe zone like that. Like, they won't not allow citizens into the safe zone. You know, like,
And until Alex stops abusing the tool, we can't give it back to DSS.
What I think people need to understand about this is that DSS is a federal agency that you are removing a tool that they have from, which sure that's within your power, but it's a little bit unreasonable, don't you think? It's a one single incident that this occurred.
It's not the one incident.
how many days has Alex been Secretary of State? Do you know?
Or deputy
Like
secretary, because she
fucking
did
3.
She also did deputy secretary.
It's
also
been
been a
DepSec for a little
problem.
while, but Wolfram and
It's been a
the
problem
other
for when
was
she was
keeping him.
DepSec
Have
and regular
a
sec.
statement from the Secretary of State within the last couple of seconds. John, we did not restrict the polling booth. We kept one exploiter out, alt out. The person that they sent alleges we abused and did not let vote. He has failed immigration, a denied immigrant. He is not supposed to be in this country, John. He is not supposed to vote. He has, let me finish. He has no rights to vote. The Republicans, John, they keep twisting and distorting the facts. We did not lock down the booth to anyone. The two people kept exploiting, aimbotting, and exploiting to be able to shoot weapons inside the booth. I was shot point blank 4 times in that server while I was extending that safe zone. They don't want you to know that. This is why they edited and cropped the video. They don't, and the statement cuts off there. He pressed enter too early, and we'll get the rest of that statement as soon as possible. Continue.
So, real quick, back to that.
This is a fucking
If
Donald
we
Trump
are,
tweet.
real quick, if she is talking about immigration and they shouldn't have a job, right? I'm going to go off of that. She hired an immigrant, and we told them not to, and she was like, I am hiring him, and you can't do anything about it. So that kind of retracts her whole freaking statement of everything she just said.
I think that what he was trying to say there is that the person wasn't meant to be there in the first place. They had no business in the polling booth since they physically can't do anything there, and their sole purpose was to harm the Secretary of State. And if there isn't proof of them harming anyone other than said person who clearly was in, as Alex claims, exploiting, I don't see why the city council should remove an essential tool.
So my name was said in that statement. And it was said that I said that they were restricting somebody from voting. Do not change and twist my words, because I did not say that voting was even active. There was no election going on. I'm ticked off about the safe zone. That's the thing. It's the safe zone's there for people to go in and not get killed, not get, not have to deal with the stuff while they go AFK. I understand that Alex was killed 4 times or whatever by the exploiters, but you can clip that and send it to Benda, and Benda's gonna ban them just like that. Like, literally, I've had 3-4 people banned in the last 3 days for doing that specific thing.
I mean, VS has 2 safe zones, right?
Yes, exactly. Metro 2, yes.
So then why would you remove handcuffs from a federal team because they blocked one safe zone for the protection of their VIP when another safe zone was still available?
So you want people to have to pick and choose, not run to the first thing that they see where's safe?
I think that if a federal protection, you have to realize that the person who they're protecting has the same concern as the other people. If there's a
Okay,
mass
well, I think they should have
incident of murder,
standards and be decent because SS isn't going to block off the polling booth safe zone whether voting's active or not. SS is a real, they should model themselves after SS, a real protective agency who knows what they're doing. No disses to DSS because, like I said earlier, Alex is the root of this problem. Alex was the one who told these people to do it. That's the reason why his agents aren't speaking up because they're afraid of being fired. And the ones that have spoken up have been disciplined, which is the reason why MPD is going to be hiring a couple people from DSS because they got fired for speaking up about it.
And they have the Whistleblower Act, but it won't work. It doesn't matter because it just doesn't do anything. If you remove Alex from DSS, problem's gone.
I don't think that Alex is going to be removed from Secretary of State because...
No, I'm not talking about Secretary of State. I'm talking about DSS.
Was a good one too. I don't know why they did that.
So
the Sec State has protection regardless.
Sec State has protection and is agency oversight, so you can't just remove Alex from DSS. That's not a thing.
Yeah,
the problem is that Alex needs to know what he can and can't do with his new given power of 18 U.S. Code 1752. I'm not against them having it. I'm against them using it the way that Alex has instructed them to. And I need to correct myself when I say DSS because it's not DSS. This is over DSS's heads. This is DSS's boss telling them what to do and them not being able to say no because they don't want to lose their jobs. I don't blame them. I'd do the same thing in their situation.
This is one situation.
It's been happening for days.
They've camped in the safe zone of the polling booth.
Not just it's been all over. It's been all over DC.
Well, yeah, they're allowed to use it all over DC. Just
when's the last time you heard about MPD abusing? You haven't because it's DSS who's doing all the fucking abuse now. Just saying. I like because 4 days ago, I was getting 50. I was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning for work to 15, 20 DMs. Here's
the
a video
rest of that
MPD,
statement has just been sent to me. This is actually a very quick one. They're embodying, doing all sorts of things that are anti-American. Okay, and guess what, John? I got shot right in the safe zone several times, 4 times by those 2 exploiters. This is why Nira was restricted to them exploiting. Can you believe it? They don't want you to know that, John, but I'm telling you, they cropped the video, they edited it, they only show you what they want to make me look bad and distort the truth. That's the end of the statement.
You can't crop and edit a fucking video. I'm sorry.
I think the point that they're saying.
Jesus Christ, that's their only fucking comeback. I'm sorry.
Okay, the thing is that this is the safe zone. Sure, the person can be banned for exploiting, but regardless of if the person is exploiting or not, it's still DSS duty to protect the Secretary of Defense. Or, fucking hell, Secretary of State. My bad. If the Secretary of State is under attack, they are being, someone is trying to murder them, exploiter or not, it is DSS's duty to protect them. There are still safe zones that people can enter, and unless you have evidence to prove against what Alex is saying, that they only were trying to arrest the exploiter, I don't see a reason for this one single instance to remove the arrest tool. Because frankly, if you're going to do that, I mean, again, as you said, you woke up to multiple reports on multiple occasions of MPD abusing last week. No one tried to get rid of their arrest tool. One case of this happening, and you get rid of DSS's arrest.
It's not one case, though. It's not one case, though.
I can tell you, it's been since Alex got secretary. It's been 3 or 4 days of constant.
Can you name a different scenario that happened?
Abuse. It's been happening. Like
any scenario other than this one.
I have a question.
GNC Bank.
I have a question, Jason. Can DS what?
Oh, you're right. Galadeld Bank. They kicked me out of Galadeld Bank. They yeah. Wow. I completely forgot.
Can DSS spike the White House Road? I'm sorry, but I just have a question about that.
Repeat your question.
Can DSS spike the White House Road?
I mean, it depends where on the road and which road. Like
the beginning of the road to the White House.
Again, their spawn is right there, so I mean, I would assume so. Yeah, there's other ways around it to go if you're trying to go into the White House.
HQ is that corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about that.
That location is 100% my fault. Sorry, SS. I know SS is probably pissed that somebody has access to the road like that, so that's my fault, SS. Sorry.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I was just wondering because they spiked the road, so I was just asking.
I'm saying, can anyone name any other situation that is being called out against DSS for abuse that would warrant the removal of their arrest tool? Anyone? Once, don't.
Straight.
I know you're gonna say it's been 3 days. Give me a give me a specific scenario.
iFolder.
Okay, I didn't say name. Give me a scenario.
iFolder followed their convoy, but he got abused and then wanted to go ask what happened and then got killed and then abused again. That was 2 days ago.
Well, I mean, if you think you got abused, which again, none of this has gone to any form of court. So if he thinks he's been abused, he shouldn't go up to a protection convoy to try and ask questions. He should speak to somebody through either DMs or a court. He should try to do it the actual way instead of going up to a protection convoy. A lot of these scenarios, and so what about Club Urbis? What happened there? Explain that.
I wasn't at Urbis, so I don't know. I wasn't informed about the Urbis.
Who said Club Urbis?
I said Galadel Bank.
Okay, what happened there?
Where they just seized the bank randomly when I was sitting in it, and they had nothing going on besides Alex sitting in the bank AFK.
Which they can do according to the US code.
But I was using the bank, and then they just come up and blatantly. There's no protection detail for anybody but the Secretary of State, which I get. But you're not on a state visit. You don't have to lock down the whole thing. When the DC mayor, I'm not gonna. If I'm on team, I'm not gonna kill you. If I'm on Americans, it's free game. But I'm not gonna kill you on my team, bro. Like,
okay, but there's some teams that should not have the authority to be in the area. If a mayor is a lot lower than a Secretary of State,
I'm not saying.
So why would they? I know that's not what you're saying, but I'm saying
that the mayor was using the bank to deposit money, and I was told to leave the area 18 U.S. Code 1752 or be arrested.
I'm saying that when I'm
aggressive for somebody who's just sitting in a chair going AFK. Like, it's unreasonable. Like, SS isn't gonna, like I said, SS is reasonable with how they use the code. It's not the fact that they have the code and the power to use the code. I have no problem with that. They need to learn how to use the code properly. They need somebody in SS to train them.
I think that the code is able to be used however they wish it can be used in accordance of what the code itself says. If DSS wishes to be more strict, they can. Even then, sure, you're the DC mayor. I'm the Secretary of Defense. Whenever I go near the president, if he hasn't said I can go near him, Secret Service search me. They ask me, hey, can you go? George has to say he can stay.
Yeah.
That's happened in some scenarios. Even at the military recruiting center where I'm meant to be, you can be depositing at the bank, but there are multiple ATMs around the map that you can go to. If the Secretary of State is there, I think that they are within their full authority to get people out of the bank, regardless of their rank.
I'm saying it's unreasonable. I'm not saying it's not within the power of the U.S. code.
But then, in which case, now you're removing a tool that they have granted to them by law because you yourself and a few other people on the council think it's unreasonable. You propose something to the council.
It was all the council. To other people when it's just been in fucking general chat for the past 3 days.
Well, no, I'm saying that
it's not just us. You're making it. You're belittling the problem, bro. You're making it seem like it's the council that has a problem. I don't think
there is a problem.
You're making it seem that people don't message us saying that we need to do this. You're making it seem like people aren't getting abused who aren't in the city council, bro. Like, this is a problem, and you're making it seem small. Like,
I don't think when it's a huge
problem. My job is to keep DC active, and nobody wants to be getting abused at DC. So I did my job, and I'm doing my job.
Okay, so how are you?
And everybody ate it. No one ate it.
So how are you going to determine when DSS gets their cuffs back?
We're talking to the White House. We started communications while Oliver was literally in this chat talking. Oliver was listening to us talk and messaged the liaison group that we have that George set up between my administration and his administration. But I told them that I want them to talk to the city council because, like I said earlier, I don't vote on bills and I can't make bills. I just sign them. So when it comes down to this whole thing, everybody has to talk to the council. I am like the face of the council, yes, but I can't vote. I'm not changing these people's votes and I'm not telling them how to vote. I think, and I said this the first thing in that White House communications chat that I just made for this whole thing. I told them the first thing that it comes down to is training and knowing when they can't. Well, not when they. I'll tell you exactly what I said because I'm stumbling. Jesus Christ.
You said it comes down to training.
I said we will use this channel to speak to the White House reps on how we can solve the DSS situation. In my personal opinion, it comes down to training. That's literally, yeah. They just need to learn when it's reasonable to use and lock down places, because in a safe zone it's not reasonable. I don't care what agency it is. I'd have a problem with it if it was SS too. But GMs wouldn't let me remove SS's tools because it's SS. But GM saw DSS's abuse firsthand, so that's the reason why it happened so quickly without any pushback. Because any other agency, any other federal agency, they would be like, are you sure you haven't talked to them about it? Blah, blah, blah. No, GM saw this and we told them. And everybody knew what was coming too, because I said it in the chat yesterday.
The problem here is that you are mistaking abuse of things that they can't do to abuse of things that they can do. Some people are unhappy that the law was used against them, and those people are criminals. They committed a crime, and they went into an area they are not allowed to, and they were arrested for trespassing under full legislation that was passed by an elected government. And what you guys are doing is you are essentially taking that power away from DSS because some people who voted for you, maybe not for you, but some people who may be possible voters decided that, hey, I want to trespass and these people are enforcing the law against me. So now I'm going to go talk to my representative in the DC City Council and get their tools removed. Like, that's completely unreasonable. They used all of their powers within the law, and you think that it's unreasonable, so you're just going to remove their tools because of it.
JJC, I hope you know Alex is probably the first person I've seen actually use the code or enforce it, because the previous secretaries of state or directors never really used it whatsoever unless there's state visits.
So
Say Alex is online right now.
T1D has been waiting so patiently, so I'm gonna let T1D come up.
Hello, people.
What's up, Tony?
Mr. Jonathan.
Yes.
I don't have anything to do with this DSS situation. I just need you to respond to my court case chat. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I have a lot of court cases. So
SWAT, you want to talk about how no Secretary of States before that have used that code?
I wanted to
T1D acid has been added. I'm gonna review the thing.
Real quickly, SWAT, to respond to what you said there. I think that a lot of things, and the whole point of this administration that we're in, is to just kind of break break this glass ceiling that some other administrations have set, these specific norms. I think that if other secretaries of state, and I mean I can't say exactly why, but I think that there was a reason why the former Secretary of State was removed. Sometimes some secretaries of state and some secretaries may not want to do what is best for their specific department, or they may be inactive, in which case they are removed, such as the former presidents who were not reelected due to them not being able to win the vote. So what happened here is this administration is focusing. What the fuck? Sorry, the doors just turned purple. So what George's administration is focusing on is breaking these norms, and if the current Secretary of State wants to go against specific norms that were set and make DSS a stronger and more active unit, then they can. If other previous secretaries didn't want to go with legislation that they wanted to go, or that they were able to go with, then I mean that why should Alex not do the same? Or fucking hell, why should Alex have to do the same as them? He doesn't have to.
They saw it was unnecessary, because it's really not necessary to lock down an entire place if you're really on your own. It's not a state visit. That's why they never use it. We only use it for during state visits, never when the secretary is just in game.
Which Alex wants to change that. Alex wants to make it. Alex wants to make DSS a more active department, and by doing that, he is able to make it so DSS has more of a job in game. If the Secretary of State is just generally in game, then there may not be as much of a job for them because they can't protect the Secretary. If he wants to make DSS more active and he is following all laws by doing so, removing his power or removing the powers of the Diplomatic Security Service just seems more of a grab for power than what it actually should be. It seems a lot more like that.
What power am I grabbing, bro?
DSS activity
trying to make some form
DOS.
of more legitimized development authority. because what you're doing is just, it's
I don't
unreasonable.
I don't have to legitimize my development authority when it comes directly from the GMs, bro. We did this because they're gonna kill DC by arresting anybody who tries to get in the safe zone.
Sure,
That's
but this is the first time you tried to take away tools from
No.
somebody. It seems like you're trying to make an
Not
an
really.
example to be
It's
made.
the first time that it's came to taking away the tools. We've had problems before. I had problems with MPD last week, bro. Like I
Fine,
literally
then I'll put it
problems
this
with
way.
my own agency, bro. Like
It seems like you guys are just grabbing at straws right now. You're trying to grab at any reason that you can find to get rid of DSS's tools. And I'll bring up the question again. Why didn't you get rid of MPD's tools?
Because it
when
was
they
solved.
were abusing? Sure, and how do you know
Because
this
it was
situation
solved.
couldn't have been solved? This one situation.
Because the person who's in charge, bro, the person
he has direct authority over MTD compared to DSS.
I told you already that a week ago, literally 7 days ago to this day, is the same day that Alex J. Cabot GPT was fired from the DCAG's office, bro. Like he is not going to cooperate with anything
You run
that
the
we said.
DCAG's
office.
Like your
That's
whole
I
government.
fired. Yes, I fired
you
Alex
fired him.
from the AG's office.
So you
yes,
can't
because
use
he was
that as
abusing. Because he was abusing. Like it's as
You can't
simple
say
as that.
someone's bad because you fired them. If someone else fired him, then maybe you can use
I'm
that.
saying that's why I did. That's why I know I couldn't talk to dude. I'm saying that I already talked to George about it. I'm saying that I already tried to talk to people about it. Like it had to come to this because it had to come to this.
We have
bro.
1
I'm not
minute
taking
left.
away. It's not targeting DSS even though it's affecting DSS. I'm not targeting DSS and it's not anything pulling at straws trying to get votes or anything, bro. Like I don't care about none of that. I care about keeping DC active and they're gonna kill it by not allowing citizens to be somewhere safe. And that's all
Alex
I gotta
cares
say.
about keeping DSS active. And you're gonna take away the powers of DSS because you want to keep DC active. Which seems
If you want DSS to be active, start hosting state meetings then.
Boom.
That's what he is doing.
Where?
I mean, I can't say what because I mean you guys don't have access, but he's definitely doing his job, and he's keeping DSS active in the process. And it seems like the city council is taking that power away.
Sorry, John. If we're out of time, that's fine. I just want to say
if we're out of time, just let us know.
Yeah, just wrap it up.
Okay. I mean, I can continue the argument in the lounge.
No, you're
if I
good.
want
You
to.
say the last thing, and that'll
I think if the issue is simply that we are arresting people inside of a safe zone, people who have absolutely zero threat to the sex state, I don't see why we should be pardoned of that. Especially if we keep doing it because Alex won't stop doing it. Alex specifically won't stop doing it. I can understand our arrest tool being taken away. I don't mean to be a fucking brown noser cuck or anything, but that's how I see it, man. If we aren't fixing the issue because we can't, then I can see this being as a legitimate response to the issue. Like,
and there's communications underway to solve this issue, so it's not going to be an issue much longer.
Yeah.
Like everything's going to be good. I got faith in my people. I got faith in George's administration. I just don't have faith in the situation getting solved by Alex himself because it wasn't going to be solved. There needs to be some sort of stipulations to where they can lock down, like not why they can lock it down because they have, but I asked the GMs to release a directive to not be allowed to lock down the polling booth or the metro safe zone period, like because that just shouldn't be it's a safe zone. Why do you need to block it with spike strips? And I mean spike strips I get because of the car bombs, but like barriers and not allowing people into a safe zone that was created so people can go there and not get killed.
Exactly, and it's a safe zone. Nobody can shoot you inside of a safe zone unless there's literally an exploiter or there's a glitcher, which we can very easily resolve by simply arresting them at that moment.
And
that is the only reason we should be able to arrest them if they're in a safe zone.
And the guy who was glitching that black alt, and the guy who was glitching, if that was clipped and sent to Benda would have banned him on the spot, bro. Like that's the thing. Like we
are
glitch.
Out of time, but I will say one thing. Again, it is DSS's job to protect the sex state, whether it's an exploiter or not.
Okay, but it wasn't DSS.
They probably reported him, but
it wasn't,
DSS had to, defend.
How many videos are you seeing of DSS agents?
30 seconds.
You're not seeing anything
of DSS
from
agents? What do you mean?
You're not seeing videos of DSS agents abusing unless Alex is ordering them to. All of the videos that I sent in general today have been of Alex himself doing stuff on the team. I'm telling you, that's the root of the problem, bro. And DSS acknowledges it. The people who have messaged me from the agency have acknowledged. Thanks for having me on, John.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Quick
John.
reminder, FTN now has a Twitch channel. It's on the community news channel. See you next time for yet more Doom Live. Bye-bye. And thank you for watching. The YouTube audience. John of Doom saying good night.